Hi, my name is Christy Elizada Raz, and today I will be discussing a few points of the principles of a good delivery for a speech. Number one, underlying principles of a good delivery applies across public speaking situations. It's important to feel comfortable in front of your audience when delivering your speech. You want to make sure that you can change your speech to fit the delivery demand of your speech. This way you can connect with your audience better. Number two, you want to understand the situation and the audience's expectations. So once you learn about the audience, it's important to dress to their expectations. You don't want to dress too informal if they're expecting you to dress more professional on a professional level. But at the same time, you don't want to dress too formal if it's a more informal type of speech. So you want to make sure that you understand what kind of audience you're going to be making your speech to, so that you're on the same page as they are. Number three, establishing eye contact. It's very important to make eye contact with your audience, simply because sometimes, just basic eye movements that we don't maybe intend to make, sometimes we don't realize we're doing them. Especially when making a speech, they can make you look like you don't know what you're talking about, or you're nervous, or it can have an ill effect on your speech altogether. So you want to make sure that you make eye contact with them. That way they feel comfortable. You feel comfortable. They get a better read on the direction of your speech. You can also gauge what they're feeling about your speech. And eye contact is probably one of the most important things about making a public speech. Number four, reinforce ideas with gestures, movements, and facial expressions. It's very important to watch your gestures, your movements, and your facial expressions, as they can send the wrong message. So you want to make sure that you practice your speech, and also practice some of the gestures and the hand movements and the facial expressions along with it. That way, that will all flow with your speech. And then this way, everybody will be on the same page with you, and they'll know that, you are passionate about what you're talking about. Because otherwise it can have a negative effect on your speech. Number five, strive for an effective speaking voice. So the tone of your voice can set the stage for your speech. It plays an important part in your credibility. A few features that are important part of delivering your speech is volume. You want to be loud enough for everyone to hear you, but not screaming. Rate. You don't want to rush your speech. You want to take your time and get everything out so that everybody can have an understanding of what you're trying to say. Your pitch. You don't want to be too high, or you don't want to be too monotone, because then it could also seem that maybe you're bored and you're not entirely into what you're saying. So you want to practice good balance. And lastly, clarity. You want to pronounce all your words clearly and exactly as they should, so they're not unaudible or misunderstood. Number six, you want to remain flexible. It's important to remain flexible, simply because things don't always go as planned in a speech. You may not have your microphone available, you may not have a podium, or you may not even have a stage to speak your speech on. So you want to make sure that whatever the case may be, you're prepared and your speech can adapt to the new change. Number seven, the most important, practice your speech. It's very important to practice your speech, because when you get up there, you want people to be able to understand what you're saying. You want them to believe that you did your research for whatever the argument is that you're giving. You want to sound like you know what you're talking about. So it's important to practice it. This way, you look well put together. You look like you did all the research, and also it does do good for your credibility. Otherwise, it can have a very bad negative effect on your credibility, and that's what's important in delivering your speech overall. And that's it. Thank you.